Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to PCM22 Career Mode. This is episode 36. It's the final stage of Paris-Nice, and we are in first and fourth place in this one, trying to hang on. This is technically a mountain stage, and as you can see, we're still very early, and it's a short stage. We're already under 100k to go, even though we just started, and we are on the first of 5 classified, 6 overall climbs we are going to face in this one, and it's continuous and it's heavy, it's intense, and you can see right now with 75 effort level from everyone except for Lacazette, who we've got working at the front since pretty much the first kilometer. Everybody else is struggling with a 75 effort to hold position. Lacazette has already eaten through that red bar and a lot of that yellow bar just in this initial. Now, it's not because of his effort. He was on the front for a moment, and then others came forward not liking the breakaway. But it looks like this version of the breakaway is far, far more acceptable, as at least temporarily. Everyone has sat up. Nobody else is attacking. And these 6 riders are now out to the 2 minutes. So I think things are going to stabilize for a little while. However, with just 91 kilometers to go, it's not going to stabilize for long. And this group has quickly pulled out that gap, and Lacazzette's going to have to push a lot harder than he has so far, even though he's really not going to get much of a recovery. But I think he'll at least get through these first 2 climbs before I have to move on to another guy. And you can see some other teams are also now joining, picking up that mantle of the chase. First sprint point coming up, but doesn't matter. These gaps really don't matter. I mean, we're well set. All we have to do is hang on and not lose time, hopefully with both of our top 2 guys, but ultimately I am willing to go all in for Gonzalez. Martinez will try to hang on as best we can. Unfortunate draw for those two with their expected +3s. They absolutely did not get it. In fact, as a team, only a +1 today, which is, 5 points below that +6, and most of that is coming down to Gonzalez, a -3 draw, and Martinez, a -2 draw. So not the greatest day to try to hang on. 248 is the gap, and it seems fairly stable, but they're pulling out a little bit. They've pulled out about 10 seconds here and dropped their first rider. That could be good for us if they do drop a rider. Lose some firepower in that front group. In fact, I'm curious while Lacazette does the chasing on this descent, and he did make it that long. But let's see what's going on. You got Rudy Millard, 11:39, 16, 9:45. You know what? By all means, that group can have the day. So Lacazette's going to back off a little bit. And it looks like he might get through climb number 3. Climb 4, of course, is one of the biggest, steepest climbs of the day, but it's the one that's uncategorized. For whatever reason, Lacazette did get some recovery, especially after backing off a little bit. But simply by contributing a rider and committing to the chase, other teams are willing to also put in, so that's good for us. Gap down to 2.5, but again, at this stage, I could care less if that group goes and claims a massive victory. For now, it's going to be mostly about managing others if they try to attack and being able to respond quickly. So we've got 4 guys to use up, hopefully just 3 guys to use up to get Gonzalez to that finish, still in the race lead. Speaking of gap, since it's been a little while, Gonzalez has a 22-second advantage, so he doesn't need any sort of bonuses. He doesn't have to fear any bonuses. And Martinez, very comfortably in 4th place. Not that far from 3rd, but I'm not worried about trying to get him up to 3rd. I'm totally happy with a 1st and 4th, especially with our race day condition on those two not being anything special, being very just ordinary. Gel for Lacazette. Lacazette, go ahead and push harder, and you can see tempo is going up a lot. I think Lacazette's going to make it through this climb, as he is very much out of energy. And actually, it looks like there's going to be a split. That gap just closed. It looked like there was going to be a split there. Alright, so Cronge is going to take over for, I think, Culverwell, and we're going to put Culverwell into that bunch, and then Cronge will take over protecting Gonzalez. We will take these two, push it up a little more. This is the hardest climb, so we just want to keep position near the front. Laksek, he's gone. And others, no big names yet. Dowsett, Halverson, this whole group back here at the back looks like they're about to get distanced, but it's still 127 riders. And now it's a front five, as they've absolutely dropped a rider now. Coming back fairly quickly towards the Peloton, and we're just about to crest on this one. And this is the high point, high elevation of the day. So it really isn't as bad for these last two, which means I think we will be just fine. Culverwell needs to gel for, well, maybe a little early because it's a lot of descending at the moment. 38k to go, and we do need water once. Kronj is probably the guy to do that. How is he descending versus Vermark? Very similar. Vermark's a little further behind, so Vermark, go ahead and take care of it. Lakasek's off the back, so Vermark's not going to have to drop back too far. Plus, it's Martinez he's protecting, so Martinez can ride solo longer. His position is less of a priority. Clear leader for the day is Gonzalez, and that overall race lead. Vermark has recovered position. Just a quick little hill there. Really didn't require much riding. And you can see how strong our position is within Peloton at the moment. And there you go. Okay, Martin attacking. He's in the front group, is he? Yes, he is. Leaving the others behind. I didn't really look closely. I was just looking at their times. But with just 2 climbs to go, and the nature of these, we want to go 85 now. Culverwell, fine with this. In fact, these are the contenders trying to attack. So we do need to respond to that. Culverwell, accelerate. And we will respond through the descent. Cool. Gap opened. Culverwell was responding. These guys are further behind. Completely missed that because, of course, we were controlling Culverwell's pace at that moment. So not ideal on how that one just went for us. But actually might switch these two as you have a punchier Vermark, and we're going to need that punchiness. So, Crunch. Let's manage this thing. Culverwell, just sit on. We'll use him up in a moment when we get back up here. Yeah, that very quickly became a 40-second gap when it should have just been that 20-second gap with numbers to easily manage it. And one little thing goes awry, and we've got ourselves a little bit of a gap, and these guys are going flat out. Now, with this Cat 1 climb, they're going to have to go flat out. We've got firepower to pull them back and possibly leave them in a little bit of a pickle, as Culverwell now, you can see how easily this is going for him. But Kronj, with a 77 descending, can't even get to the front. He's on 99 effort, and he can't even get to the front. That's pretty sad. That is pretty sad. But there they are, just a few seconds ahead, and we've caught Culverwell. So let's go ahead and now make him into the lead guy. And of course, still 99, because we still need to catch those front 4. Crunch still can't catch up. There's Remark. There's our guys. And we've already negated anything that they were going to do here at the base of this climb. Now, that's a Venipole still trying to attack. Culverwell is done. Culverwell, go 99. Let's get Kronj ready. And we will respond here with Kronj, because others are trying to accelerate. 3k to go to the top. We're still looking okay. We've got Vermark, we've got Martinez, we've got Gonzalez, and Culverwell. Go ahead and drop the toe. Kronj 99, since you're out of red bar anyway. And we are close on these guys as Felix Gall tries to go. Try to break that toe again. Gall, let's check check. Venipol, 411 down, 542 down. Those two are actually not even a threat, but we are in position now to kind of go for it. Do we want those two to attack and leave the others behind? I'm going to go sprint, and we're going to Cronge. No, Cronge follow for Mark.
They can go flat out to the finishing line at the bottom, but they've got to watch their trajectory.
Can they get off the front? Okay, Vermark, sit up. Break that toe. Oh, Martinez is done. But these two, as they go over the top, can you relay 99? Nope, we are being chased. We are being chased, but that's okay because we have others. Set up, wait for the others to get up here and lead them out. That's breakaway riders. The two that got dropped, there's 4 to chase. They're going to win the stage, it looks like.
Only 5 kilometers left.
For Mark. Going forward. Cronge, what's your position? Yes, let's go ahead and follow that. And gel up for these two as it is a descent and it is fast. And Mark's going to push on, control the pace here. We got just 40 left in the peloton. So we absolutely did split the field, but I would imagine all of the leaders are still in it. 4K to go. After we come around this left-hander, I'm going to think about these going into a sprint. Yes, now's the time, because now we don't need to fear what's going to happen. So Vermark leading it out. And into Cronge, 1.4K, 1K, and final kilometer. And Gil Martin has claimed the victory for the stage, so they've eliminated time bonuses. Gonzalez is actually going to be second in our sprint for the line, though Evenepoel, we were second, but Evenepoel, Gall and Evenepoel, we reeled them back in, but apparently we didn't reel them back in. I thought we had. I don't know how they escaped. I missed the moment. I thought we already got them, but either way, they were well down the order. So none of those guys that finished ahead of us were any sort of threat, and we neutralized everybody else there at the end. That was actually quite comfortable. So that will be an overall win. That's an overall win. That's a GC win for our team. That was clearly not there yet. We were getting closer to being competitive. You know, we were setting an objective of being able to compete for a top 10, and we're going to have a first and fourth place as, you know, those guys who gained a little time. Again, we're all breakaway riders that were well down, well out of the classifications and should not feature in the top 10s at all. There it is. First and fourth. We did it. So, Shagai, if you remember, got injured. He went down injured and came out of the race. He has a broken collarbone. He's going to be out for 3 months, so he's not coming back until the end of May, beginning of June. So that is a long time. Shagai, of course, is, you know, one of our weaker riders at 3.5 stars. In fact, he is second from bottom. But still, that's a long-term injury. You can see Catalonia. You know, we're going to be down a man. We're probably going to bring in Lacazette to replace. So we can get another man in there. Utsulia Basque is actually one of our kind of bigger targets, so we might pick somebody else instead of, like, say, a Lacazette, maybe a Panamar who could definitely climb a bit. Yes, we'll replace with Panamar, so we can, you know, get some decent legs in there, because we're definitely not bringing the A team for Utsulia Basque at 2.5 stars. You know, you want something a little bit better than Lacazette or even Shagai for that matter. With only a handful of major objectives for the season, and then some overlap here and there with various objectives, there was only a few points in the season where I was able to truly hone in on and prepare the team as best as humanly possible for the race to come, so that we could do our best business on that particular day. Well, the Grand Tours is one of those definite occasions, especially if you're going to race for 3 weeks and a weekend in one race. It's easy to pinpoint that and really isolate that. But the other one that I was able to isolate fairly well, just mostly down to timing of when the other races were, was this Milano-San Remo. Top 10 objective, and we came in absolutely stacked for this thing. Plus 27 was the expected. Now, of course, the way that plus minus works with a cap of 5, I fully expected plus 23, and that's actually what we have. So we have a plus 23 to the overall race day condition. Of course, for those who don't know, you can't go beyond plus 5. So if Ponamar draws a minus 2, was expected plus 2, ends up on 0, well, then we're losing 2 points of that expected. But if Huggins rolls a plus 2, now that should even out, that should balance out. But if Huggins was expected a plus 5, it's still going to show up as a plus 5. You can't go beyond plus 5, even though technically he rolled a plus 2 for the day. Now, of course, we don't know that, right? Talking speculation here, but with 4 guys expected on plus 5s today, and all ended up getting their plus 5s, you figure there's probably 2, 3, 4 points out of those guys that could have been. Maybe more. But here we are with 2 climbs to go and 28 kilometers on what is considered a sprint stage because, well, there isn't that much climbing. But we're about to climb a good one, a tough one, and we are fully fresh. Now, after this climb, we want to get organized and set up for the last one. We have a single rider a few seconds off the front right now, DSM rider, and an attack by an EF rider, and those 2 ride clear. Simone Carr was the one who just attacked, and now we've got some guys starting to chase. Nope, they are starting to attack as well, but it is being chased, so I'm not worried about being the one who conduct the chase. Vandenberg and Mikkels are amongst my plus 5s. We threw everything at this race for those guys. And we are over the top. Let's make sure everybody is in a good position. They are. We still have 21k to go, so let's take the downhill. There's only one rider 11 seconds away, so we don't need to worry about the chase just yet. And with 20k, we don't need to worry. So far, we don't need to worry about getting into position. Right now is a good chance to get that heart rate down, get some guys to recover a little bit, and now we're looking at pretty much a full field and 16k. Now we're going to think about setting things up here at about, 14.5, because we do want to get it lined up before the uphill. All right. So for safety's sake, we are going to put Vashek on the back end of this thing as Bausch comes out and sets up our train. We do want to be near the front for the attack because there are going to be guys trying to attack this, trying to turn it into a puncher's finish, and we are going to need to gel up here early as we are approaching that climb. Bausch already putting his work in the setup, in the build-up, and then Bano is going to start with climbing, which is good. That's what we want. 99 from Bausch as we want to get right to the base of the climb, and then Bano will take over. So now is his time to go. Get Huggins ready, and Bausch try to break toe with anybody behind. And Vandenberg, Mikkels are looking good, looking strong. We want to keep an eye on their red bar because we want to get over the top, but we do want to set this up as a sprint. So Bano working well, and the other guys are still hanging in there, doing okay. We will have Ponamar take over now at a 96 because we're getting a little bit further down that line. And Vashek, I think Vashek can... No, you know what? We're about to go over the top with 6k to go. But I think Vashek can make his way up the order a little bit. 1 spot so far. It gives Vandenberg a little bit of respite as well. So Vashek can now move up a 2nd spot as Ponamar is nearly done. And then Huggins will take over in a moment. Ponemar has reached the top, or is about to anyway. And Hagens going clear. Get Vashek ready. 5.5k. And with a quick descent, we want to gel up for everyone. Ponemar already in recovery mode. Ponemar, go ahead and help break toe behind. We want to get behind anyway, and now it is time to... You got to go hard from here, even if there's a little bit of danger of a crash on this descent. 3.6k. One more right-hander, and then we push on because it's going to get easier. 2.5k, so Hagens going. Vashek going. Mikkels drops the wheel a little bit, but he's got it. He's got it. There you go. 1.8k. Onto Vashek to lead out. And there you go. Onto Mikkels now. 1.4. Mikkels is done. On to Vandenberg, 800 meters. He's feeling a little bit more than I thought he would, but he does get out going strong. He's got his top 10, and he's so close to getting the win, but he didn't quite have enough red bar. He's going to get second place. It's Benyan Gourmet for the win. Vandenberg, Vashek, a 2-3 for the team. Mikkels gets fifth. You know, there's that trade-off. If you wait a little bit more, you have a little more for the sprint, and maybe we win. But also, if you wait a little bit more, other guys are going to be able to go early. And so there's a huge trade-off on how that one works. Either way, we've got a double podium here, and a really solid result, and we needed a top 10, so we absolutely crushed it. That is a 2 for 2 now on the major objectives for the year. Plus, with all those other really strong results we have, I think we can now officially check off our evaluation for the year as being totally fine, totally secure. We can pick and choose which races we want to participate in the rest of the year, even if they are objectives. I'm not worried about them. We have so much collateral when it comes to that evaluation at this stage. And we will focus on those Grand Tours and try to get those stage wins. And those are two of the other major ones. As long as we are able to do that. I mean, the only other major one we have left is Tour de Suisse, Sulia Basque. Those are pretty easy. Those are pretty easy to do. And both of those are stage wins that we're seeking as well. And we're a lot better suited towards a stage win at this point than we are for GC anyway. So another solid result, another step in the right direction. It would have been nice to get the win. It was clear, though, that Gourmet was coming on pretty hard. He did run out of red bar just after getting past Vandenberg, and only held on by probably 10 millimeters. I mean, that was close. That was so close. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.